Some police cars are built to patrol, others built to haul. From C street racers to factory-tuned beasts, here are the top 10 fastest, wildest cop cars ever unleashed on American roads. Number 10, Dodge Charger Pursuit. This one's built for heat. Literally, the Dodge Charger Pursuit is what happens when the cops decide they're done playing catch-up and start playing offense. Pre-2021 models were clocking 152 miles per hour at full roar, which means if you thought you could outrun the law in your turbocharged tuner, think again. Now, it didn't hit that speed by magic. It had a 3.6-liter Pentastar VI6 under the hood and 2.65 gears out back, which gave it enough legs to chase down anyone dumb enough to think a no cop, no stop sticker was a strategy. It's not the loudest or the most dramatic, but it's consistent, reliable, and built to take a beating. Sure, Dodge is pushing EVs now. The Charger Daytona RT taps out at 137 miles per hour. That's cute, but let's be real. Nothing strikes fear into a racer's heart quite like seeing a blacked-out Charger in the mirror, lights off, creeping up at 150 miles per hour with the silent promise you're not getting away. Number 9. Cadillac XLRV. When you think of cop cars, you picture boxy sedans, push bars, maybe a little dirt on the fender. You don't picture a two-door Cadillac Roadster that looks like it just left a golf course valet line. But surprise, this beast was Cadillac's idea of a Corvette in a tux. It shared bones with the C5 Corvette, but the XLRV ditched the small block V8 for something fancier. A supercharged Northstar V8 swiped from the STSV. That gave it 443 horsepower and 414 pound-feet of torque, which in police hands was like giving a ballerina a pair of brass knuckles. Sleek, but deadly. Sure, the regular XLR's naturally aspirated version made 320 horses, which is great. But the XLRV, that was the real enforcer, pulling double duty as both a patrol car and a high-speed flex. One look at the Bloomfield Township PD's version, and you knew they weren't messing around. It was like they ordered their patrol car with a side of midlife crisis. Bottom line, if you saw one of these in your mirror with lights on, you weren't just getting pulled over, you were getting shown up. This wasn't just a cop car, it was Cadillac saying, "We can chase you down," in style. Number 8. Ford Mustang S650 GT. If you hear a deep V8 rumble on the streets of North Carolina, that's not a street racer showing off. It's the North Carolina State Highway Patrol flexing in their shiny new S650 Mustang GTs. Yep, the cops went full pony car, and not the cute kind either. We're talking about the kind that'll chase you down, cuff you, and still look cooler than your built WRX in the process. Topping out at 155 miles per hour, these GTs aren't just about straight-line speed, they're about presence. Ford's 7th-gen Mustang keeps the legacy alive with a 5.0-liter Coyote V8, and depending on the setup, it cranks out either 480 or 486 horses. That's not a typo. Ford gave the active exhaust model exactly one more horsepower than the Challenger Scat Pack. Just pure pettiness, and we love it. Of course, these patrol Mustangs come with the 10-speed automatic, which means no missed shifts and no mercy. And while the 2.3-liter EcoBoost was left on the lot, the GT was the clear choice for highway takedowns and high-speed drama. You might think you're flying in your lowered import at 140, but when this black and silver Mustang lights you up, suddenly you're in a Fast and Furious reboot you didn't audition for. And this isn't even the top dog of the S650 lineup. There's still the Darkhorse and the insane GTD waiting in the wings, but for now the Mustang GT in trooper trim is already a menace with a badge. It's part muscle car, part highway predator, and all business when it hits the lights. So if you're thinking of testing your luck on I-85, maybe don't. Number 7, Chevrolet Caprice PPV. Think of the Chevrolet Caprice PPV as the undercover brawler of the police fleet. After a long nap and a passport stamp, the Caprice returned to U.S. police duty in 2011, built on the Zeta platform, the same foundation as the Camaro and Holden Commodore. So beneath that plain suit sedan look, we have pure rear-wheel drive muscle. The V8 version brought a 6.0-liter engine to the party, belting out 355 horsepower and a 156 miles per hour top speed, making it one of the fastest pursuit sedans of its day. That's not just fast for a cop car, that's pull over or we're reenacting Fast 5 Fast. Meanwhile, the Michigan State Police put it through its paces and clocked 0 to 60 in just over 6 seconds. For comparison, the V6 version took almost 8 seconds to hit 60, and by 100 miles per hour, the V8 was practically home while the V6 was still checking its pockets for keys. Number 6. Chevrolet Camaro B4C. Let's rewind to the late 90s when your dial-up internet was screaming, and the Chevrolet Camaro B4C was doing the same, except at 160 miles per hour on a wide-open highway. This wasn't your average mall crawler Camaro. Slapped with the B4C option code, it was the law enforcement version of the Z28, and it didn't come to play. It came to dominate. September 1999 saw this sleek slice of muscle hit 160 miles per hour during Michigan State Police testing, blowing right past every other pursuit vehicle on the list like it had something to prove. Spoiler, it did. Even the manual version nearly matched that at 159 miles per hour. You know it's serious when the difference between winning and almost winning is basically one missed Red Bull. With only 708 units built in 2002, the B4C was rare, fast, and had the subtle menace of a ninja with a badge. Most were finished in onyx black, making them look more like government assassins than police cruisers. If you saw one parked in a speed trap, you didn't hit the brakes, you hit regret. Meanwhile, the Volvo S70 and V70 tried their best that year. But let's be real, Volvo versus Camaro on a straightaway? That's not a race, that's a formality. Number 5. Tesla Model 3 Performance. In April 2022, Dallas County Commissioners greenlit a pilot test with 3 Model 3 Performance sedans. And it wasn't just a flex, it was a statement. With a top speed of 162 miles per hour, this electric menace leaves the F-150 Lightning and Mustang Mach-E in the dust. Literally. The Lightning taps out at a sleepy 110 miles per hour. The Mustang calls it quits at 120. But the Model 3, it keeps going until your radar detector starts begging for mercy. Sure, it doesn't have the Plaid's warp speed party trick, but with dual motors and all-wheel drive, this thing hits 0 to 60 in a face-flattening 2.9 seconds. And unlike most performance cars that snarl and pop, the Tesla just goes. No noise, no hesitation, just instant torque and digital fury. It might not be the crowd favorite in Tesla's lineup, but for departments looking to go green without sacrificing speed, the Model 3 Performance is more than just a science project. It's a chase car in a hoodie. Minimalist, efficient, and terrifying when it wants to be. So next time you think you're in the clear because you don't hear sirens, maybe check your rearview mirror. That silent blur you see closing in, not your conscience. It's a Tesla with a badge. Number 4, Ford Mustang Darkhorse. Let's face it, Darkhorse sounds less like a trim level and more like a vigilante cop who works alone and doesn't play by the rules. And honestly, that's exactly what the Mustang Darkhorse feels like when it's decked out in full police livery. In 2024, the Idaho State Police decided to saddle up with 9 of these V8-powered beasts, and they didn't pick them for fuel economy. This isn't just a GT with a different badge. Under the hood, the 5.0-liter Coyote V8 is packing Shelby GT 500 internals, making a clean, naturally aspirated 500 horsepower and 418 pound-feet of torque. Now Ford lets you choose between a slick 10-speed auto and a Tremec manual. And while we car nerds love to shift our own gears, the Idaho State Police went full auto. Why? Because that 10R80 transmission allows for higher RPMs, 7,500 compared to the manual's 7,250, and in a chase, every single rev matters. Plus, let's be honest, even the most die-hard stick-shift fans probably don't want to heel toe while doing 140 through a canyon. So if you see one creeping up in your rear view with red and blues flashing, don't bother trying to outrun it. This isn't a chase car, it's a predator in uniform. Number 3, C5 Chevrolet Corvette. Forget your 4-door sedans with flashing lights. This is the Corvette that did not come to play. The C5 might have been born for weekend blasts and car show bragging rights, but a few of these fiberglass missiles found their way into police fleets. Why? Because sometimes the best way to stop speeders is to be the speed. With a top speed of 175 miles per hour, the LS1-powered C5 was pure American muscle with zero chill. Salt Lake City PD ended up with a 50th anniversary edition after its original owner got popped for drug dealing. Turns out crime does pay, just not for the guy who bought it. Greenville police, not to be outdone, added a 2003 Z06 to their squad in 2015. Ironically, the Z06 was actually slightly slower at 171 miles per hour, thanks to shorter gearing. Proof that faster on paper doesn't always mean faster down the highway. This was the first Vette to rock the legendary LS engine and the last to wink at you with pop-up headlights. True end-of-an-era energy. And while the C5's design might scream 1990s sports car starter pack, its performance still holds up. It was light, sharp, and slippery enough to make speeders question their life choices as it filled their mirrors. Number 2, SR2 Dodge Viper. Okay, this is where the chase movie writes itself. Imagine a guy in a 2000 Dodge Viper bombing through a 35-mile-per-hour zone at 127. That's not just breaking the law, that's tearing it in half and setting it on fire. Naturally, the Plainfield PD decided if you can't beat them, seize their ride and put it to work. And so the Viper, yes, an actual 8.0-liter V10-powered 450 horsepower American lunatic machine, joined the fleet. Sort of. Rather than chasing down street racers, Fast and Furious style, this venomous patrol car now spends its days repping the department at DARE events, flexing its muscle for school kids and charity runs. It's got police comms gear, flashy strobes, and the American flag painted right on the hood. Because if you're going to scare kids straight, do it with a car that sounds like thunder and looks like it eats Mustangs for breakfast. Number 1, C6 Corvette Z06. If you're wondering what happens when a drug dealer modifies a C6 Corvette Z06 for illegal racing and then gets raided, well, New Braunfels Police Department has the answer. This ex-criminal ride, a 2007 Z06, was seized in 2011 during a meth bust and gifted to the department 2 years later. Instead of auctioning it off or crushing it, NBPD went full Transformers and dubbed it Coptimus Prime. And no, it's not your average outreach car. It's rocking 1,005 horsepower. It's not out pulling people over or responding to 911 calls. It's too valuable and too wild for that. Instead, the Z06 is used for school programs, parades, and community events like National Night Out. Basically, it shows kids that cops can have cool cars too, and maybe makes a few gearheads drool in the process. Underneath all that outreach charm is one of GM's greatest V8s, the LS7, a 7.0-liter naturally aspirated beast. It was hand-built, dry-sumped, and cranked out 505 horsepower in stock form. That was already crazy for its time, but whoever had this car before turned the dial up to 11. The LS7 went on to power the Camaro Z28, but it was always at home in the C6 Z06, a lightweight aerodynamic scalpel compared to today's bloated muscle. So there you have it, built for speed and backed by the badge. These machines don't just chase, they dominate. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming next.